I'm not trying to take the spotlight in my relationship. I'm just trying to know when to shine and when to hold the flashlight for him.
And I'm sure not trying to keep up with Tab, but I will say I am trying to keep us both in the same direction.
And this is Jim, calm, clever, and the guy that can fix a broken deal or a broken door without breaking a sweat.
Well, thank you. And this is Tab. She's smart, she's relentless, and the kind of partner that makes you bring your A game every single day. And together we're Unretired AF.
Well, welcome to Unretired AF. And today's episode is going to be about why we don't compete, we collaborate. But before we get into that, we just want to thank our subscribers. We're a new channel and we're just getting
Cheers.
Getting off the ground, and we really appreciate this support. So we want to reach out and say thank you to our supporters and encourage you, if you like our content, please hit the subscribe so you can get our content every Monday through Friday, every day. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so into our episode today, why competition in relationships is overrated. I think a lot of times, especially if you're a type A personality, like Jim and I are both type A personalities, and I think we come into it with that competitiveness that we bring to the rest of the world, and we forget to leave it at the door when we come in as a couple. I mean, this is not the Olympics, and there is no medal, no gold medal for being most right. The only thing that trying to be right all the time gets you is contention with your partner, and it doesn't bring you closer together. So,
well, I would say you get a lot of gold medals for the food you cook for us.
Well,
you absolutely do.
Well,
but
you.
Competing is very, very exhausting. We both are still working in a very competitive field, and we fight with people every day, and we come home and we're just beat. And the last thing you want to do is have that with your spouse.
Right. And I guess, like, people don't realize it. It's like, what are you going to benefit from being right all the time and pushing that point?
Right.
And competing with your spouse or your significant other. What are you going to get out of that? Like, that's what you have to stop and think.
Yeah.
There is no prize. You're not rivals.
Right.
It's not as though if I win, then I get something that Jim doesn't get, or vice versa.
Right.
I mean, it's like...
And there have been times, I will tell you, there have been times where she's told me to quit being a dick. And it's because I have brought stuff home, and I have been too wordy or too aggressive for what? Nothing.
Well,
So you really gotta watch that.
Well, and I think it's good to have a partner who will bring that to your attention, because I'm the same.
Sure.
I mean, I'm also in a very aggressive industry. We're in the same industry, but in different aspects of it. And I fight with people all the time. And sometimes, especially being a woman in that industry, I feel like, well, I'm going to just back up and say, we're unretired. I mean, we're working pretty much part-time in our industry that we used to be full-time in, but we just like it.
Right.
We just like it, and it's lucrative, so why quit?
And they're both our own businesses.
Yeah,
we're not working for anybody.
We're entrepreneurs, so we do our own thing. But sometimes I have to be really aggressive because I'm dealing with a lot of men who are like my son's age, and they think I'm like this little old grandma, and they don't realize when they get me and they try and push me in a corner, they're going to get it. Boom. They're going to get it. And Jim's the same way in his industry.
Absolutely.
And so it's kind of hard, and we have to sort of deprogram when we're on the way home realize that, because it's not that we're trying to do it, intentionally. It's just we're in that mode. We got to just change that mode because we realize we're not rivals.
Well, and we've done it long enough now. I mean, this is both our second marriages, but we've both know that collaboration equals a better connection for us.
Right.
And, we don't, all I've seen with competition, and certainly in my first marriage, competition just builds walls. And I don't want walls.
Right.
happy life, happy wife. So
I think
happy
it's the
wife,
other way
happy
around.
life.
Exactly. But I think that is something that I don't think I really got very well in my first marriage, was that collaboration equals connection. And I think it's something that we've really worked on.
Yeah,
And because the bottom
absolutely.
line is, I mean, you have to, if you get together with your spouse or your significant other, you got together with them for a reason.
Right,
You don't think they're a complete dumbass.
right,
Hopefully not.
right.
And so there's got to be trust.
Sure.
And
Yep.
I think trust
Yep.
brings that. All right. Well, the next item regarding this don't compete in relationships is that we're different on purpose.
Right.
I mean, I think sometimes we choose our partner, and we should, based on the things that we lack, because then they can bring strength into our life that we
Sure.
didn't have, and that certainly has been the case
Absolutely.
for you and I. I mean, we are not the same, but we're
No.
complementary.
Yeah.
So, for instance, there are things that I will dig my heels in, and usually you will let me have my way on those, because there are things maybe I have more expertise, but that's a respect that goes both ways.
Right.
If it's something that you have more expertise on, I will certainly do the same thing. It
Yeah.
isn't just one person trying to bully the other person
Right.
to get their way all the time. It's knowing, and it's smart. It's
Yeah.
smart to yield to the person who has the most expertise on
Right.
whatever it is,
Well, I would definitely say that the biggest strengths you have, to me, are your planning,
Yeah.
your the fire when you.
Is that what we're calling OCD these days? Planning?
Well, just the fire that you have when you get a project that you really want to do.
Yeah.
And I think both of us have very much a lot of energy on it, but you seem to have yours directed more to the task at hand, where I kind of look at things in a larger scale.
I mean, I think I can be big picture, but I know how to break down and compartmentalize tasks
Absolutely.
to get them done. I
Absolutely.
am visionary too, and
Yeah.
a big picture person, and you're task oriented too. But I think
Well,
you're
we
right.
have to be.
But I think you're right. I think our we can both do both things, but I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
you can be a little bit more bigger picture than me. I can be more task oriented to get there.
Yeah.
So I agree. Well, and I think Jim has more of a calmness and a steadiness, because I'm like the type, like for instance, we told you in the previous episodes we're looking for a new place. We want to live somewhere in the country, and we talked about how we had these criteria. And I find something, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. Let's move. Let's do this one. And Jim is more like, okay. And then he looks at it and he's like, well, what about this? And what about this? What about this? And then finally, just the calm that you bring and the input that you bring kind of helps me, simmer down. But I think it's good, because I think I can get things fired up and get it going. But I think you can really help provide some stability and some direction, and like, hold up, let's think this through. Let's think about all of the aspects of it before we make a decision.
Yeah.
So that's
And
important.
I think one of our the thing I love about with us is we're pretty balanced, and we found that if you balance, that equals building a better relationship.
Right.
And we call each other out on it.
Yeah.
There are times where we do bicker.
Every couple does.
We both let it go too far sometimes, and we call out and we feel bad for a few minutes. We say we're sorry, and then we go on again.
Well, but we're intense. We're both intense.
Yeah, we are.
We're intense people, and so we love hard and we fight hard too sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think our saving grace, and one of the things I knew right away when I met you, that you would be a good husband material, was that you know how to say you're sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way.
Sure.
I think if you can't do that, it really makes things linger.
Yeah.
So, all right, how we handle power, ego, and big ideas. This is a good one. I think Jim and I have done it for sure. We have to learn when to lead and when to yield, and we have to be in agreement about that in the relationship. Because, like, for instance, I just mentioned, looking for a house. I mean, Jim's background is in construction and engineering, so he's much more qualified than I am to determine the overall house. Although, for me, I am a cook. And he is too, but I'm more of a cook than he is. He's more of a smoker and griller, an outside cook, meat cook. I'm more of, I need a functional kitchen. So he has the expertise to pick the house that has good plumbing, good electrical. It's not in a floodplain. It's not going to be, we're not going to have problems down the road. Doesn't need a roof in 2 years. That's his area of his expertise. But I need it to be functional for me. And so there are certain things that maybe he doesn't think about. So, in that respect, I let you lead on that. But then when it comes to the kitchen, even if it's not perfect, I can ask him, can it be reworked?
Right.
Can it be reworked to be what I need it to be functional for me?
Sure.
So I think that's part of it. And that goes along with a lot of different things. I mean, not just that, but all throughout the relationship, it's knowing who should take the lead on which thing.
Right. In our relationship, even though we're both very much type A's, we try not to have an alpha in our house.
Right.
Because we know how alphas can butt heads. Right. So we really try to hold it back. And it's for a good thing. I mean, we both in our businesses that we're still doing, we have to be alpha every single minute of the day. Right. If we lose, then it's just, to me, there is no second place.
Right.
So that's why we really tone it down and not so much tone it down. That's a bad word. We recognize our role.
Right.
And we try not to be a dominant alpha for either one.
Right. Well, and I think it's important to learn to yield to the other person, because I think it shows humility and love and respect. Now, I will say, just for the record, I mean, Jim and I have a pretty traditional relationship in terms of gender roles. I mean, I think you handle the car. I don't take the trash out. I cook dinner and I make meals, and I mean, we have pretty traditional roles that way, and we're happy with that. We're not saying that everybody should have that.
No.
But just when you're listening to the context of us, it's possible to have two very type A people, especially as a woman, and be in a traditional sort of relationship with those traditional roles. And I think it's important because Jim recognizes my strengths and he doesn't ever make me feel less than or anything like that. So that's really important. And I think the other thing is that we recognize we both want the same thing.
Right.
We have the same goals.
Right.
I mean, if we're working together for something, our chances of winning and succeeding are far greater than us trying to fight each other on a project. It's just if we want the same things, if we have the same goals, we're going the same direction.
Right.
We're putting all of our intense type A personality in that direction toward that goal.
And we both have figured out right when we got together that if one wins, we both win.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get much better than that.
Right. And if we fight, then we both lose.
Right.
Nobody wins. I mean, and if Jim wins and I lose, how is that good for us as a couple? So that's not good.
No.
And then we want to talk a little bit about how we collaborate in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, when we have given you some examples. For instance, with the show that we're doing here, we'll give you a little behind the scenes peek at how it works for us. And we're fairly new, so we're changing things up all the time and learning. It's a big learning curve to doing this, but we're having fun. But anyway, I write out, I select a topic and then I select bullet points of what we want to talk about. And then Jim and I have what we call a table read on Thursday or Friday for the coming week. And we tweak it a little bit so he feels comfortable with everything. And I do the video editing and put it together. And Jim,
I handle all the gear, setting everything up in our studio,
The lighting,
the
the
lighting,
tripods,
yeah,
everything, sound.
the production,
Yeah.
try to make it calm and quiet.
Yeah.
And, you know, it works. It works.
It works for us.
If you have any ideas, if we're doing something wrong, you think it could be better, drop us a note in the comments and let us know, because we're new to this. So
we are new to this, and if you think that we are lacking in video editing skills,
Yeah.
our show is.
or if the sound's
I have
bad
a
or you
hair
don't
in
like the
my-
lighting.
I have a hair in my lip gloss. It's driving me freaking crazy. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, if you have any comments about ways that we could improve the show, we'd love to hear
Sure.
about it. All right. Well, the takeaway from this episode is it's not about who's better.
No,
It's not about who's right, who's better, who's
No.
stronger, who's whatever.
no.
It's not about that.
It's not about that. We have found, honestly, for us, that collaboration is a lifestyle for us.
Yes.
It very much is.
Yeah.
And we have also found about being better with that
Yeah.
helps us be more together.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
So that's really all I have on that.
Okay. Do you want to ask people to comment?
Yeah, so I thought I just did that a minute ago. If you have any comments about why you don't compete with your spouse, or really anything, collaboration, anything we've talked about, why people are different on purpose, drop us a note in the comments. We do read the comments. We'd like to hear what you have to say. If we can better ourselves, we'd like to know too. So again, if you have something, please drop it in the comments. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you're enjoying our episodes, if you're enjoying our show and you enjoy being Unretired AF and you want to be part of our tribe, join the revolution and subscribe to our channel. If you're not familiar how to do that, you can just if you're on the TV, just click up. So it'll go up. You can pause it and then go up. And then there's a little bell. Just click on that bell and you'll be subscribed to our channel. So you'll be able to see us
Ding!
in your feed every day, Monday through Friday. Well, we're not slowing down.
And neither should you. And
And
together, we're Unretired AF.